Hi, and welcome to Jamie's 4.0 Garage, where today we're going to talk about the auto start stop feature that's on many cars out there. Is it destroying your engine, or are you saving so much money in fuel economy? Let's take a look and find out today. It was originally designed as a feature to save fuel, but that little bit of savings that you're going to get, is it wrecking your car's engine? Sure, car manufacturers absolutely love it. They love it, they like it, they need it because the fuel saving adds to their overall EPA mileage test cycle, and they get off-cycle money credits from the EPA and the federal government. But in theory, it can add 3 to 10% of your increase in fuel savings. It depends on you, how you drive, what your commute is, what type of car you have, and how often you use it or don't use it. So let's talk about how a basic internal combustion engine works. Here's your oil pan, which is filled with oil inside the sump. There's an oil pump in the engine that's going to pump the oil throughout these parts when the engine is actually running. And when you engage the starter motor from either a key fob, a key, a push button start, or remote start, whatever the case may be, this starter motor engages with this flex plate or this flywheel. And notice the teeth on the back engages with the teeth on the inside of the pinion of the starter. This flywheel or flex plate is attached to the back of your crankshaft, which spins the engine over. And as the engine's spinning, obviously your pistons that are connected through your connecting rod to your crankshaft go up and down, creating combustion and pressure, and the camshaft is spinning and the valves are opening and closing, right? We get the basic concept of how that's working. But let's talk about when you shut the car off. So you come to a traffic light, your auto start stop is engaged, you put your foot on the brake, and the engine is shut off. All that oil that was just pumped up from you starting the car on your first initial start of the day is draining back down into the pan. As it's draining back down in the pan, your bearings, your camshaft, your connecting rods, everything is going to get dry because the oil is going to drip back down to the bottom of the pan. And you sit at the traffic light, and all of a sudden the light turns green, you take your foot off the brake, you touch the throttle, and all of a sudden, boom, the car starts back up again. All that oil's got to be pumped up. But these cars that have been sitting at a traffic light for however how many seconds or minutes, all the oil drained back down. So you are essentially starting up the vehicle for another start that you began your drive cycle with. So that means all the oil's got to get pumped up either through pressure-fed fittings in passageways or splash as it drips down. So all these parts that were on the top were dry because they were coated. You shut the car off at the auto start stop, it drained back down in the pan, you started it back up again. And this can happen many times throughout your drive to work or wherever you're going. So let's look what happens. I have two pieces of metal here, and if I rub them together, you can hear the sound they make, just metal on metal. Now, if I was to go ahead and put a little oil in there, sound goes away. There's no more sound. So when we're having metal to metal contact for that parts of the engine being dry, we're having wear. And what's going to wear the most are these bearings, because the bearing is designed to fit between the connecting rod and the crankshaft. And when the oil drains out of here, you're going to have metal to metal contact. So you tell me, is it worth the few pennies that you're going to save for fuel economy, shutting the car off, starting it back up, shutting it off, starting it back up? Or in 40, 50, 60, 100,000 miles, are you going to need an engine because your bearings are going to be totally worn out from being dry? Next time you get in your vehicle and you have to go for a ride and you start it up, think about being penny wise or dollar foolish. You want to save a couple cents on fuel economy, or do you want to have early major mechanical repairs? So the next time you get in that vehicle, you want to go over to that button and you want to shut that off. Thank you for watching Jamie's 4.0 Garage. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Hope you learned something today. Thank you very much for watching.